Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. So today I have another useless Slimestone machine. This is a bedrock breaker that I worked on for a little bit, and this has the advantage that while it does use the pistons, it can be built directly next to the wall. So this can break the bedrock right here. All that you need is some form of like an immovable block, but if you really wanted to use a breaker like this that's not directly to a wall, you could easily just move an extended piston. It's not that hard. I'm sure that anyone who's willing to even use a machine like this could do it. So let's replace the bedrock here. Let's turn on the instant fall rule, and then we can start it. So the way that you would start this is you want to come to this side here, place in a glass block, and then start the loop here. So we can see everything starting to get moved forward. We make these sticky pistons headless by dropping dragon eggs on them with instant fall. We set up Myron's piston layout, and then we break bedrock. One thing to note is that because we're using these two redstone blocks here, this machine is directional. So you can't just, just build this in the west and east that this machine doesn't work in, I don't think. But yeah. So here you can see the pistons getting removed. We push in an extended piston, push in a downward facing piston, and then we retract everything. And I just found that this was pretty much the best update order for me to work with. Yes, here you can see the hole breaker, and also there is glass here in the way, if it wasn't already clear. This is just my texture pack. It kind of makes it look clear. So yeah, the hole breaker can have pretty much anything. The only thing that could break it is like power sources, because obviously pistons here and stuff would get powered permanently. Other than that though, yeah, you could even have slime or anything. Everything here is unaffected as long as the slime doesn't move, of course. That's the only thing that might break this. But yeah, so the reason that this is directional is because with these update orders, with this update order, the extended piston updates last. So this is V2 of the machine, by the way. V1 would just completely stop if you were to run it in the other directions. V2 doesn't break, so the machine would keep going, but it just simply doesn't break bedrock. That's the only limitation with this. So other than that, you could already see the line being formed here. So this is obviously flush with the wall. So this could be useful for perimeters where you want to get right up to the wall. You can also see this machine at tick rate 200, so it goes a little faster. You can see it breaking the bedrock from the underside. I guess we could also watch this at tick rate 20. So here's a tick rate setup. Alright, let's go with tick rate 2. So here you can see the two headless sticky pistons. Then we power, pull this segment. This double powers this piston, which basically just extends in this piston here. This is going to QC, so it automatically updates. Then we push this piston down, and this is Myron's piston layout. So once we just pull this bit here, which should go any minute now. So once this glass all moves, we're going to power this piston again, and it is going to retract. Everything's get flipped, and the piston head is put right in this block, which breaks the bedrock. You don't need to worry about having bedrock being here before, by the way. That does not matter. That's pretty much the idea of this breaker. So obviously the whole system can go up past this block. It doesn't really matter. You can even have it height limited for it to like right here, or I don't know. So yeah, it's not the most compact bedrock breaker, but I don't really know. Also, this is pretty much the first one-way bedrock breaker that uses dragon eggs that I know of. So that's also another advantage of this system, that it doesn't use TNT, so in case SR doesn't like TNT duping, yeah, this is obviously an alternative, but I don't know. One thing that I should mention is that this might not work even without instant fall. So instant fall has a unique property that I'm not sure if this applies to lazy chunks or not. As far as I remember, it doesn't. But the property of instant fall is that it takes a delay for the dragon eggs to drop. Whereas if I turn this off, or actually I don't think I can show it because, yeah, the server would probably crash. But yeah, if I were to turn on instant tile tick, then the DEG would just completely destroy everything instantly within one tick, which I'm pretty sure that that's the property of lazy chunks, which means that this delay here is not right for the getting the headless pistons. You can obviously try it. Also, I'm not sure if this works in 1.15 with the bedrock breaking rule for anyone that's asking. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's happening with this breaker. Also, I do plan to remake the system. First of all, to be non-directional, and second of all, to actually work on 1.15, because that's where this would actually be very useful, because the current 1.15 bedrock breakers, you can't, well, on most servers at least, you're not allowed to use the dragon egg bedrock breaking, which is basically obviously just dropping a dragon egg. So what they normally use is they use a TNT system. I guess I can also show this. Okay, so as far as I'm aware, this is the layout that most of the 1.15 servers use. So this is basically, you want to first retract this block, or this is a headless normal piston, and then this one here is a headless sticky piston. This bedrock breaking method doesn't really work in 1.12 as far as I'm aware. I tried it, but it doesn't really work out too well. But yeah, basically in 1.15, this works basically by, actually I guess I can show this with tick freeze. So you have something that extends instantly, then you retract it and both replace it, and this would normally cause the piston to pick up the retraction event and extend its piston head into this block. Actually, I guess I need to go like, yeah, like that. So this would cause the piston to place its piston head into the world and then retract it. So it's basically replacing a bedrock with the block 36 that eventually gets deleted. So that's pretty much how the bedrock breaking works. In 1.12 you do it slightly differently. So the bedrock breaking is you, and this is for the headless version. Basically you want to have two headless sticky pistons like this. Facing this way, you'd probably have your explosion coming from here, or you could just simply do what I do normally, and that is drop dragon eggs. So you could easily actually do this. So yeah, like that. Then you would normally have the redstone box here. You want to have a setup like so. And then have a system like this. Like this. Or actually, I guess this should pretty much be like this first. And then you want to have a fly machine which will move this forward a block, then instantly retract this, and then this would be extending at the same time that this goes to retract, and in that same tick these would also retract, which basically this piston would end up being headless facing this block. So to show you what that would look like, so this is pretty much what it would look like normally. And this layout might look familiar to you because you would know that if you do have this setup with a regular piston, not a sticky one, stickies don't work with this, then all that you really need to do is just unbutt it, and then it'll instantly summon its head and then retract. So that's pretty much how the bedrock breaking without using piston heads works in 1.12. Obviously that's on 1.15, which is the exact reason that 1.15 is to have separate bedrock breakers. Although one thing that's nice about those bedrock breakers is that they use slabs. So they use slabs like this, and then this actually makes the TNT much more reliable, I find. So you could basically just power the TNT like this. And then, well, yeah, I mean, I missed it, but whatever. It makes it much more reliable, and it's just nicer to work with. But yeah, that's pretty much how the bedrock breaking works. There's obviously many more different layouts that I don't know. Well, actually, I don't even really know the, what do you call it, the 1.12 version. It doesn't use pistons. That's also something that I was trying to look into for a flesh bedrock breaker. But for something that's first of its kind, I feel like this is somewhat alright. Obviously, it does need a lot of improvement. First of all, I need to make it non-directional. Chaz has already been yelling at me multiple times to do that. But yeah, that's hopefully coming soon. One thing to note about the Lightmatic I can show is that if I load in the Flush Bedrock Breaker V2, you'll notice that it is in the opposite direction that it can go in. So if I paste it in here, this one here would not work. So this needs to be rotated either 90 degrees clockwise or 90 degrees counterclockwise in Lightmatica. And that's just because the directionality for these redstone blocks works in those two directions, as I said before. So that's pretty much all of that. Obviously, you don't need to use leaves, you can use anything you want, melons, pumpkins, doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is kind of nice, and I'm also going to switch to survival so that you can see where you might want to use this. Okay, so I'm here on Hypnos right now. I'm in the perimeter for EPS, so this is just a mob farm perimeter. It's the fastest current one for 1.12. And you can see right here that for the bedrock breaker, we actually got smooth walls. So this could be something that's kind of useful, where you could just break the bedrock right along the end here. And that's also something that's really nice for the decorations for perimeters and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, bye.